Now the question number 31. Which of the following sets of concurrent forces may be in equilibrium? A, B, C, D options are given. But here one thing we have to remember. Which one that is? According to triangle law of forces, resultant of two forces must be greater than or equal to the third side. So here option A we are taking, that is 3 plus 5 is less than 10. So that means F1 plus F2 less than F3. B, 3 plus 5 is less than 9. So that means F1 plus F2 less than F3. And C, 8 plus 5 is greater than 6. So that means F1 plus F2 greater than F3. Then afterwards here, sorry, here not 8, this is 3. 3 plus 5 greater than 6. And D, 3 plus 5 is less than 15. F1 plus F2 less than F3. So that means what happens here, out of all these ones, this law is suitable only for option C. So that means option C is the correct. Now the question number 32. Radiation of intensity 0.5 Weber meters to the power of minus 2 are striking on a metal plate. The pressure on the plate is how much? So first of all, here given radiation intensity I is equal to 0.5, these were the units, and here afterwards given pressure on plate to find. So that means P is equal to intensity divided by C, means velocity of light. So that means C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. Then what happens here, 0.5 divided by 3 into 10 to the power of 8. So that is nothing but 5 by 3 into 1 by 10 to the power of 9, or otherwise 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 9, or otherwise 0.166 into 10 to the power of minus 8 Newton by meter square. So which option is correct here? 0.166 into 10 to the power of minus 8. Option A is correct. Now the question number 33. What is the phase difference between the two particles is 25 centimeters apart in a wave represented by an equation y equal to 0.03 sin pi times 2t minus 0.01 x seconds and traveling in a medium. So here first of all given which one? The equation, wave equation is represented by means of that this equation, and 25 centimeters is nothing but path difference. So here path difference delta x is equal to 25 here meters, 25 meters. Then afterwards here the wave equation is given y is equal to 0.03 sin times pi times 2t minus 0.01 x. This is the wave equation. So when this wave equation is comparing with this one, y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. So from here k is equal to 0.01 pi. So k means we know that 2 pi by lambda is equal to 0.01 times pi. Here pi cancel, lambda is equal to 2 divided by 0.01. Now here lambda is equal to 200 divided by 1, wavelength lambda is equal to 200 meters. But here we had to find phase difference. What is the phase difference required? So that means here phase difference delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. So that means 2 pi by lambda into path difference is 25, and 2 pi divided by lambda is nothing but 200 into 25. So 200 times 25 4 times. So that means pi by 4 is the phase difference. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 34. A weightless bag is filled with 5 kg of water and is weighted in water using the spring balance. Reading of spring balance is how much? So here first of all, initially the bag is weightless and it is filled with water. This is also weightless and it is filled with water, and this must be totally kept in water. Then what is the reading of spring balance? That is also 0. That means the weight of water in water is 0. Remember, this is important point. Weight of water placed inside water is 0. So the option D is correct. Now the question number 35. The ratio of specific heats at constant pressure and at constant volume is gamma. To find out the degree of freedom, the expression is how much? So first of all, we know the ratio of specific heats and of constant pressure and constant volume is gamma. So that means Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. And also we know this Cp minus Cv is equal to universal gas constant. But one thing remember, how much amount of energy we are having in terms of degree of freedom, that is F is the degree of freedom divided by 2 into RT. So when it is differentiating with respect to time, we will get constant volume. So that means that is du divided by dt is equal to differentiation of this one F into R by 2. Why? Because derivative of with respect to time means this time will get cancelled. So that means what happens here? Cp is equal to Cv plus R. But what is Cv here? Fr by 2 plus R. This is Cp. So that means Cp is equal to Fr by 2 plus R, taking LCM 2, Fr plus 2R Cp, and finally we will write this F plus 2 into R by 2. But actually we know Cp by Cv. So that means first of all I will take gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. So what is Cp here? Degree of freedom plus 2 into R by 2 divided by Cv means what we are getting? Fr by 2. Fr by 2. So both gets cancelled, gamma. So that means gamma is equal to F plus 2 divided by F. Then what happens here? Gamma is equal to F by F plus 2 by F. So gamma is equal to 1 gamma is equal to F by F1 divided by 2 by F. But here 2 by F is equal to 1 minus gamma. So that means 2 by F is equal to 1 minus gamma. Here F by 2 is equal to 1 by 1 minus gamma. But I want to calculate only degree of freedom. F is equal to 2 divided by 1 minus gamma. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 36. Find the centripetal force acting on a coin weighing 0.1 kg placed on 0.1 meter from the center of the gramophone disc, rotating at 600 rpm. That means rotations per minute. Let us consider it is the gramophone record. On that gramophone record, from the center, here there is a coin which must be placed at a distance 0.1 meter, and this is the coin, and this disc is rotating with the frequency f is equal to 600 rotations per minute. So which one we want to calculate here? Centripetal force acting on a coin. So that means first of all, mass of the coin is given, m is equal to, that is 0.1 kilogram, and then afterwards radius r is equal to 0.1 meters, and frequency f is equal to 600 rotations per minute. That is 600 into, per minute is nothing but 1 by 60. So cancellation of that, we are getting 10 rotations per second, or otherwise we will take 10 Hz also, no problem at all, 10 Hz. But which one we want to calculate? Centripetal force. Centripetal force F equal to mv square by r. So v square is nothing, substitution mr omega square. That means omega required. So here omega is equal to 2 pi f. So 2 into pi into 10. So that is nothing but 20 pi radians per second. So which one we want to calculate? Centripetal force. Centripetal force on coin. So F is equal to mr omega square. So m, that is 0.1, and radius, that is 0.1, and omega, that is 20 pi whole square. So here on calculation of that, 0.01 into 400 pi square is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of minus 2 into 4 into 10 square into pi square. These two gets cancelled. The remaining answer is 4 pi square Newton. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 37. Using the data given below, find the height at which the communication satellite can reside. So capital G is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power of minus 2. Mass is equal to 5.98 into 10 to the power of 24 kg. R is equal to 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6 meters. So here, using the given data, find the height at which the communication satellite can reside. So let us consider this is the Earth. Radius of Earth I will take as capital R. At some particular height from the Earth surface, here the satellite can reside. Satellite can reside. So the height of the satellite from here to here, that is h. So from here to here, the distance we will take as small r. This is very important one. So that means small r is equal to capital R plus h. This is very important one. And this is the Earth, and this is the satellite. So first of all, so how much time period it will rotate? That is t is equal to 2 pi small r divided by v. Then afterwards what happens here? T is equal to 2 pi r by r times root over r by g. But how we get this one? That is v is equal to r omega from this. But what about omega is equal to? Omega is equal to root over g by r, or otherwise 1 by omega is equal to root over r by g. That only is substituted here. Then afterwards what happens in this case? T is equal to 2 pi by capital R times, here R moves into that R cube divided by G. Already we know that R is equal to capital R plus H. So that's why T is equal to 2 pi by capital R square root over R plus H whole cube divided by G. So here squaring on both sides. T square is equal to 4 pi square divided by R times squaring on both sides, no, that is small r plus capital R. Here small r is equal to capital R plus H. So that means capital R plus H whole cube divided by G. And now here I will write R plus H whole cube is equal to T square. Here squaring on both sides, no, this is R square and G divided by 4 pi square. But here R plus H whole cube, but here R plus H is equal to T square R square G divided by 4 pi square whole to the power of 1 by 3. But one thing remember, I want to calculate height. So that means H is equal to T square R square G divided by 4 pi square whole to the power of 1 by 3 minus R. R is the radius of the earth. So then what happens here? H is equal to T square R square. But actually what is G is equal to capital G M by R square. Substitute here capital G M by R square divided by 4 pi square, then whole to the power of 1 by 3 minus R. So here R square cancel. H is equal to T square capital G capital M divided by 4 pi square whole to the power of 1 by 3 minus R. So here height required. So that means H is equal to T square. T is nothing but time period. Time period of the satellite which is revolving around the earth, that is 86,400 seconds whole square into capital G value given 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square into mass of the earth is given 5.98 into 10 to the power of 24 kg divided by 4 into 3.14 whole square minus, that means the total minus, this total minus radius of the earth 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6 meters. So by calculating of all these ones 35850 kilometers we are getting. So simply 35850 kilometers. So by solving this one we will get this one, but this is very important one. So option A is correct. Question number 38. Find the stress developed in the tooth cavity filled with copper when hot tea at temperature of 57 degrees centigrade is drunk. You can take body, that is tooth temperature is 37 degrees centigrade and alpha is given 1.7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per degree centigrade, and bulk modulus for copper B is equal to 140 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter to the power of minus 2. So here which one we want to calculate first here? That is stress required. So that means first of all temperature of the T is equal to 57 degrees centigrade and temperature of tooth, that is equal to 37 degrees centigrade, and alpha value given, that is 1.7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per degree centigrade, and bulk modulus is given 140 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton by meter square. But here which one we want to calculate? Stress required. So that means here stress is equal to bulk modulus into strain. So bulk modulus is equal to stress by strain. So here bulk modulus B and strain delta V by V. but one thing remember, delta V is equal to V into gamma into delta T. Now here substitution, B into V into gamma into delta T divided by V, V gets cancelled, remaining B into gamma into delta T. Already we know gamma is equal to 3 alpha. Now bulk modulus already we know 140 into 10 to the power of 9 into 3 times 1.7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 into temperature 57 minus 37. So here 140 into 10 to the power of 9 into 3 into 1.7, 3 sevens are 21, 3 ones are 3 plus 2 5, 5.1 into 10 to the power of minus 5 into 57 minus 37, that is 20. On simplification is this one, 1.4 into 10 to the power of 8 Newton by meters square. So which option is correct here? 1.4 into 10 to the power of 8. Option A is correct. Now the question number 39. The speed of a uniform solid sphere after rolling down from a rest without slipping along the fixed inclined plane of vertical height is h. So here this is the fixed inclined plane of height h. There it will be uniform solid sphere. This is uniform solid sphere which is rolling down, from the rest without slipping along a fixed inclined plane. So that means here this is rolling without slipping. Rolling without slipping is nothing but rotatory motion and translatory motion, both it contains, and also it is sphere. So that's why moment of inertia of sphere is equal to 2 by 5 mr square, and also angular velocity omega is equal to v by r. These two are very important. Now here rolling without slipping means it law of conservation of energy. It is present at this particular height means it contains potential energy m into g into h is equal to contains rotational kinetic energy and kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy half I omega square plus half mv square. So in this one m into g into h is equal to half into moment of inertia 2 by 5 mr square, that is I will take 2 by 5 mr square into omega is nothing but v by r whole square plus half mv square. That means m into g into h is equal to 2 gets cancelled, and remaining here m into here r square, no, r square cancel, m into v square divided by 5 plus half mv square. In all the cases m gets cancelled, remaining gh is equal to v square by 5 plus v square by 2. So here g into h is equal to, taking LCM, 7 v square divided by 10, and here 7 v square is equal to 10 into g into h. Here v square is equal to 10 into g into h by 7, but v is equal to square root over 10 into g into h divided by 7. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 40. When a rectangular coil is rotated in a uniform magnetic field about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to the field, the EMF induced in the coil varies linearly or exponentially or sinusoidally or laterally. So first of all, when a rectangular coil is rotated in uniform magnetic field, flux linked with the coil, what is that? That is flux phi is equal to BA cos theta, and also we know that theta is equal to omega into t. So that means phi is equal to BA cos omega t, but actually EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt is equal to minus d by dt of BA cos omega t E is equal to plus BA omega sin omega t. When it is comparing with the equation E is equal to E naught sin omega t, but E naught is nothing but peak value. So that means here from this equation and this equation E naught is equal to BA omega. So that means the graph, the EMF induced in the coil varies in which one here, sine. So that's why sinusoidally. So option C is correct.